YouTubers, Joe Kersey here on Friday, October 9th, 2015. Looks like they might, well, they're not finishing up, obviously, given the amount of dirt over there, but it looks like the Columbia Gas people have, they're filling in that hole that they had, or the two holes they had over there at one time. And they take another little orangey fence and stuff, and there was a guy down in the hole earlier, and now that hole's been filled in, and they've been tamping the stuff down, and it almost looks like they've put in a right angle turn to mirror the right angle turn that we have over here. And if you look over here, you see the sprinklers blowing into a freshening southeast wind. And if you look up at the sky, we should be getting a little rain here in an hour or two. Well, 3 hours anyway, maybe. So that's been about it for today. It's been very benign over on this side. Hello YouTubers, Joe Kersey here on Saturday, October 10th, 2015 at 14:29 in the afternoon. Now, you say, Joe, you're watching your actual computer screen on the 40-inch TV. And that I am, and it's all due to this wonderful device, this Apple TV device. Pay no attention to that cell phone. This is the Apple remote. It's very minimalist. It takes one of those thin, like, well, it takes like one of the camera batteries I used to use in my Leica R6. I think sadly the ones I have left over are too old to be used, but we'll see. And then here's the, that little light. They call it the status light. Somewhere in that black darkness there is, the infrared sensor detector. And then if you come around here a bit, you see your power cord hole, and you see the HDMI cable going in. And then you've got the HDMI cable. Let's see, hurry. Ooh, there we are. There's your HDMI cable going in the back. I picked this up at the Apple store here today. Apple TV, and I popped for an HDMI cable, which I already had one, but it was a much older cable that Paul had found left over at the hotel. And I thought, hell, I'll just pop for another HDMI cable. Well, here are the boxes that came in. That was a pretty straightforward box to open by Apple standards. This was, well, this took a little bit of figuring out, but it's one of these slide this thing out of this top sheath thing. Took a bit of doing. I had to sort of expand it with, judicious stretching. Well, much like sometimes you have to expand things with judicious stretching to have your fun in other areas of life. So, today, being Saturday morning, I went down to my grandson Carter's little youth soccer soiree down there off Morris Road, south of Morris Road. And Thomas and Kelly were there, and then Carter's other grandfather, Kelly's mom, was there. And then right at the end, her dad showed up. Tom showed up. Tom Weatherby. And he brought one of these one of their Yorkie dogs. I don't know if it's theirs or it's one that they're taking care of. I don't know. Finally, the dog came over to me, and I got to sort of interact with the dog. Poor Mr. Weatherby was walking around with his shit bag, you know. That just ain't going to happen with me, dudes. I'm going to tell you that right now. Yeah. I'll try to keep my dog from crapping where people are going to walk in it, but I'm not going to pick it up. I'm certainly going to carry it around with me like some sort of little prize. It's like when guys, first learn they can jack off, and they, jack off into a jar and see how much they can accumulate. I didn't do that, by the way. I have seen a video, though, where people have done it. It's on YouTube. I found it. No, it's not. It's on manhub.com. Or no, it might have actually, no, it was probably on Tumblr, I think. It's out there. You can find it. Be diligent. Be diligent in all things. Always and everywhere. I'm not going to go into that. I'm not going to go down that road. So I set this thing up, and I downloaded the manual before. What happened is I just ordered it this morning, and I picked it up at the Apple Store down on Polaris Parkway. And the reason I did that was because I got anxious to have one of these. Now, I had ordered one that is supposed to arrive on Friday of this next coming week. I just said, I can't wait till Friday. No. Properly, I said, I won't wait till Friday. And so I said to Thomas, do you want one of these Apple TV devices? He said, I'd love one. I said, well, I'll give you one here, I'll give you one here next week. Great. He was all excited about it. He says, we were going to get rid of the AT&T cable, Uverse service anyway, and they're going to switch back to Time Warner now, or switch to Time Warner. I'll tell you, Time Warner's customer service has been excellent with me. I've never had a bit of problem with their customer service. So I'm really going to stop spending this money. I've been spending money hand over fist. It's just terrible. Well, it's fun, but now admittedly, it's all on stuff I'll use and read and enjoy and so forth. But and it tends to come in clusters with me. I'll go for months, years even, and not splurge or do anything like this, and then I will. It's always kind of, it's not like I'm manic or anything. I'm not one of these manic guys. But anyway, so Carter was unusually wound up today. I don't know why. But he was very wound up and jumpy and, bounding around, and more than he usually does. So, seemed okay. I was very healthy, and, Anyway, it's all a bit of fun. It was team picture day, so they had photographer down the other end of the field, and so we had to go down to the other end of the field first, and we walked back. It's a very pretty place down there. They do it along Alum Creek, south of Morse Road. So essentially, I'm just driving down from the creek in my backyard, albeit via I-270. Paul's still at work, and Obviously, if this thing shows up on his computer where he can just tap into this AirPlay, it's the AirPlay function of the Apple TV. And it's set up relatively easily. It wasn't very confusing at all on either the Samsung or well, a little bit, but that's not the device's fault or the company's fault. That's just me not being able to figure this stuff out very readily, very rapidly. No. Wonderful day. Trees are turning. Trees are turning here. We'll give you a little walnut shot here. Some walnut cathedral window yellow. Little 5-leaf ivy. Nice and red. Horse chestnut buckeye trees. Getting there. Nice. Alrighty. Bye-bye, YouTubers.